filmed a show with someone in a while, so hello, thank you.
It's nice to see you too. I've got a lot of questions for you today. I'm going to try to give you the best of 3 pages in about
Okay,
half
well,
an hour, maybe 20
we
minutes.
are happy to answer whatever you are happy to ask.
Excellent. Can you describe the relationship, the importance of humans in the importance of visualization toward manifestation in humans?
It is not important that you do it on purpose per se. It is just like how you often do not intend to think. You are often visualizing without realizing it. You
Hmm.
you have that natural mechanism in you that you create scenes out of things, and you see in pictures sometimes. So if the more important thing is that you are in a positive frame of mind so that those images are positive as much as can be. So it is really more about where are you starting from and not what are you doing, right?
Okay. All right. And would a conscious effort at visualization affect that automatic process to any degree, or would it be meaningless?
It is possible, yes, but if you are, so let us say you are using visualization to find a happy memory, that moves your state to a better place. You are happier, and so you can access better future thoughts. Visualization, usually you are using it to conjure a future, to right, you use that manifestation. So but in order to do that in a way that is actually effective for you, you must first be in the vibration of that, right? Do you understand? So if you are
Mhm.
using visualization to get into that happy place and then to conjure the future as you would like to see it, that is the most effective way. If you are already in a great feeling place, then yes, visualize away.
Okay, thank you. And in imagining your perception of my aura, trying to put myself in your perspective as I imagine it, it would be as if you were looking at an X-ray. Is that anywhere close to what you're seeing? And can you see any obvious misalignments? In other words, what do I see blocked by? Can you see parts of my energy that are prevented from expression?
Well, this is something that is, so Rachel would see it like that black and white that you are talking about.
Hmm.
But what we see is your wholeness. We see the whole of you. We see your non-physical. We see your divinity. We see your perfection. And to us, okay, let's just say you all have bodies and sometimes you get to scratch, right? It can be the smallest of things.
Hmm.
If you had some kind of a block, as you call it, a misalignment, maybe it would be like a little scratch to your aura size of what you visualize that. But if you imagine your non-physical being is bigger than the building you are sitting in, it is bigger than the planet that you are on. And what would that scratch be in comparison to that? It would be inconsequential. You would not ever notice it. And that is how we see you. That is how we see you. We see your perfection. And so if you start to see your perfection, if you start to feel your true non physical nature, there is nothing blocking you at all, at all. It is only your attention to it that is seemingly in your way. So move your attention from that block to you, to that love that you are. That is the way around everything.
Okay, this might be interesting. This might be the question I meant to ask the other night when we had our podcast with Devin and Matthew, and I didn't take the time to pre-write it. And this one hopefully will get to the point. To what degree is material reality, by this I mean the things in the world that seem to contradict spiritual immateriality, things like the class structure, politics, etc., to what degree is that in fact an expression of the psyche, and exactly how does that contrariness operate? The reason I ask is that I have been conditioned to expect that true happiness or enlightenment is only attainable through transcendence of materiality. Is it also available through immersion in the material world? Are these seemingly disparate realms of exactly the same density, to use a term from metaphysics?
Well, yes, this is a very different question than what you asked on the podcast. And we are so happy about that podcast, by the way. We are so happy about it. It was such fun.
Thank you.
And
Me too. And now I'm feeling like this question is just as wrong-headed as the
no,
last
it
one.
is
But
great. It is
to
great. We
make
just
any,
wanted to say that we had so much fun. So thank you for inviting us
thanks so
there.
much. Thank you so much. I'm
This is
glad.
a great. This question, yes, this question. We could write a book about this. In fact, maybe we will put this in our book because we understand that some of you, many of you, there are religions formed on this question, right?
Hmm.
That you see a difference. You see a difference between the spiritual and the physical, and the control that some people try to take by manipulating the physical.
Hmm.
And what we would say is that happiness is not found in the transcendence of that. Happiness is found in the transcendence of the judgment. The
Hmm.
transcendence of the judgment. All is spiritual. All is spiritual. The physical is just the manifestation of the spiritual on the density that you live. And so it is a natural out. You cannot stop it from being there. If it is in your psyche, as you say, it will become physical. But each of you has your own dominion over your own reality, and you can manifest the world to your liking. And so if there is another reality that is not pleasing to you, that is not in alignment with you, then you do not need to participate in it. And removing your judgment that something is wrong, that is where you are truly free, because now you are no longer holding yourself down because of what someone else has done, or
I
maybe
like.
perhaps because of what you have done in the past.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes.
Contacting dead loved ones versus reincarnation. Is this the person's higher self we're contacting, about which perspective the new or current incarnation is unaware? In other words, is this a residual after effect while the soul itself goes on and is reincarnated?
It can be, but we would not call it an after effect. It is still that energy, right? So
Okay.
your non-physical energy it can be many places, many places. And so it is never a diminished part of you that is communicating,
Okay.
right? It is just
So it
not.
can be incarnate in a new self and still be contacted as former
Yes,
self.
yes, yes.
Okay, you remember Devin mentioned Charles Fort, and he was the guy who recorded everything that science wouldn't include, even though it was proven. So in reading his books, I became aware of early UFO sightings where they were seen as ships, actual ocean vessels in the sky with oars and things like that. Whereas now we see them as sleek, super technological saucers and other craft. Can you explain the evolution of human perception of UFOs over time?
Well, yes, just as you say, humans are not able to perceive that which they do not know. And so, as someone has seen a ship in the sky, the only thing they could equate it to is one of your ocean vessels, right? It is, they can get that, maybe that thing that is flying across the sky, maybe it contains beings. Maybe it is moving from one place to another over a long passage, so it is a ship, but they only know the ship in the water, so that is how they see it. You have all had this. You never see what is really there, right? Someone gets a haircut you do not notice for 4 days, but they are different, right? So you are always seeing what it is that you are allowing yourself to see, and sometimes that is not accurate to what is really there.
So are the UFOs that we see currently anything like what's really there? Or are they only what we're able to see based on our own vehicles at this point?
Yes,
have we
yes, yes.
We've caught up.
Many of the ships that are coming closer to your world are still not ships. They are still not ships. They are much more biological than you can understand yet. Maybe they have appeared in that way in some of your movies, but it is still different than that. And some yes, we will just say yes, they're we are trying to explain that you are used to a form of construction, and these ships that they're not constructed. We'll say that they're not constructed. They are different than that.
They're evolved, or they're grown, perhaps.
Some yes, some are grown, as you would say. Some are more materialized. That is a better word for it. They are materialized. And why? Let us say why. So in the beings that live with the option of physicality, which there are several dimensions in which that is possible. Right here, you have physicality. You have no choice. If you want to be seen by others, you must have physicality, right? Well, there are some dimensions that is optional. And so on a home world, let's say, they will choose not to have a body, but when they come here, they choose to have a body and a ship. And so that might make a little more sense in what I was saying.
Yeah, just to correspond to the density of this level.
Yes, it is an easier time for them here.
And what do you say about the fairies? What is their portion of existence?
They are a contradiction on many levels. They are communal and yet very independent, and they are mischievous, but not in a malicious way, but in a having fun way. And they are extremely powerful and boundaried, and yet they are very lighthearted and beautiful and ethereal. So and many people think they are extremely small, and yet they are extremely large in most cases. So they are full of wonder and mystery and fun. They're very fun. They will play hide and go seek with you if you wish.
In what sense are they boundaried? What do you mean by that? Concealed from sight, like, or?
Well, yes, in many cases, but also, so there are things that happen in each dimension. Like right now, your world is moving from the third to the fifth. All of those are accessible to you. The third, not so much anymore, even though you have constructed a version of it that keeps you feeling more comfortable.
Interesting.
And so what happens there is that you move from feeling individual to feeling the effects of telepathy and oneness and empathy. You start to feel more because you are accessing the energy of a higher dimension where there's less boundary. And so in the fairies, they have learned how to control their own energy so that others are not always affecting them, and yet they are still connected. A lot of your anxiety on this planet is because you are very wishy-washy in your membranes and your boundaries. You are too affected by what is happening around you. And so the fairies are not. They are communal, they are in a higher dimension, but they are not. They are learning to be sovereign, right? That makes sense?
Yes, thank you. I like that. Everything is everything until you make it one thing or another with your attention. Schrodinger's reality, that's a scientist who proved mathematically that a cat in a box wasn't there until you saw it, and further complications of that. And I talked about and thinking with Rachel. I kept using the word resonance when we last spoke, and maybe because I wonder if certain pieces of data believed as truths by masses of people, majority of people, gain resonance or staying power as reliability via faith or trust. You know what I'm saying? Like people put a
Yes.
lot of faith in a religion or a political system over years and years, and it gains in force through that accumulation of faith and trust.
Yes.
That's correct.
Well, yes. You can see that. You can see that. That is what we mean by, right? You make your own reality. Whatever you believe is your truth will show up as that. So to those people who believe those different things, that is very real to them. And it may not be real to someone else.
And that would answer the question, because I know you're in Utah right now, and I wonder if this might be too human a question, but I wonder if you have any insight as to Joseph Smith's experience. Was it entirely fabricated, or did he actually have a visitation and receive information?
We have
And
never
believe
considered that
to have been.
before, but let's see. We do believe that for a long time, he thought that he was doing the right thing. That is all we will say, is he thought he was doing the right thing, and then it just got away from him. And what a lot of your leaders are afraid of is growth and changing their mind and realizing there are layers to this reality that keep unfolding. There are layers to your perception. So
Wow.
it's always wise to keep the right to change your mind open, right?
I like it. I remember when we first spoke, you said that you were here for experience more than service. I'm very grateful that we've developed a relationship here where you're being helpful to me. And I want you to qualify the distinction between being here to give service or to experience.
Well, see, this is one more thing, is why do they have to be separate?
I don't know. Didn't you create that distinction though?
But
Because
only because when you think of service, you think of doing something for another. You put the other first. When we think of service, we think of existence.
yeah.
And so our existence is it is, and we choose to be here because it is fun and we enjoy it, right, for the experience. But we are natural in our service, and all of you are too, whether you are mowing a lawn or making a video or reading a book. You are emanating, you are in service. And so we say that because you all divide it, but we do not.
Okay. All right, I understand. So would you consider yourself a separate type from, say, Bashar or Seth or any other particular channeled being who is here? Well, can you name another channeled being who is here explicitly for service?
No. They might say that. But they could not be in service if they were not in alignment, right? Right? So if they are in alignment, they are in alignment with themselves first, themselves. That is where that energy to serve comes from. That is why they have the idea. It all stems from that selfish, as you call it, pleasing yourself first place.
Okay.
And we
All
would
right.
extend that to all of you. You are in your highest service when you are in your highest alignment, which means you are in your happiest place.
A place of joy.
Yes.
Can I
Enjoyment.
give you? I'm sorry. Can I give you one more really short one?
Yes?
I don't know anything about this, but I just heard a legend that the legend held by Zuni elders of 7 maidens being chased through the corn by bears, I think it was, and they summon a mountain to rise up, and it's Devil's Tower, and directly above it is the Pleiades, the 7 maidens, and I wonder if that has any relation to your perception or if that's entirely a human thing.
Oh, that is so funny because, Rachel does not look into these things unless they come up for her, right? But the only movie she ever enjoyed that had to do with aliens, the only one she saw on purpose even again was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. She very much enjoyed that. It was very accurate to her experience as well. And that is featured in that movie.
No kidding.
And
I haven't seen that one.
And Rachel had wanted to go see that natural monument. It is far away though, and it snowed. It was too cold when she was driving around there, so she did not. But she sought that out, so she did not know it was linked
before she was consciously connected to you.
No, it was after. It was after, but okay. We did not say anything to her. We do not care. What the story? We do not know if that story is true or not. It was probably a representation of their thoughts about it, right? But like a painting, like a verbal painting. But yes, that is funny. We do not know that, but it makes sense.
All right, and I'm not even sure if it was bears or wolves pursuing these three women, but okay, I feel like you've given me a lot of your time today, and I'm ready to let you go, but thanks very much as always.
Wonderful. We are so excited about everything. Thank you so much for being here again. Thank you for your questions. Thank you to those of you watching. We love you, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.